everybody. Welcome back to Around the Rumors podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across the UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today, I'm joined by the fantastic Justine Dampt. Hi, Justine.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you all about your amazing product. So, I invited Justine to be on the show here today because she is co-founder of SIP, also known as Shake Your Plants. Such a cool concept, all about promoting wellness and hydration, getting people to drink more water and just really nutritious, healthy water. Please tell me your story and what got you started.
All right. So, first of all, I'm French. As you can tell, like let's start from the beginning. So I've been in Dubai for almost 15 years. So I would say that I consider it home. You know, like it's where I enjoy living, and it's a choice for me to be here. It's like where my company has been founded, and it's not my first rodeo. I've been a founder for almost 20 years. I mean, it looks like I'm so old. Like I swear I'm not. But like like I started to work on business plan when I was in university. So yeah, I founded different companies. Some like good stories, some bad stories. When I arrived in the UAE, I thought like I had like started to have like little kind of like inflammation, little different type of like health issues, and I've always been passionate about fitness and wellness, and I really decided to do like a training to become like a nutritionist slash health coach. So I joined an online program. I did a training. So my background is very much like very academic. Like I study philosophy and economics in France, then study business in Canada. Nothing like related to nutrition. So it's really came from a passion of mine. And then I started to make like little like snacks on Instagram. And long story short, I exited this business in 2019, December of 2019. And then next, like during COVID, I thought about like what I wanted to do next. And like how can I push more benefit of plant-based in everybody's diet? And like I thought also that I didn't want to tell people to remove things from their diet, but like more to add on things on something that they're already doing well. So everybody drinks water, right? So we thought, okay, that's a perfect vehicle to try to push in this little kick, this little like elevation of water to reach like some kind of like wellness. So we work with the product on like different product and format, and we landed on the format that is what we currently have, which is a sachet. Very simple, like originally very sports drink. I think now it's more going into a lifestyle, and that's what we're trying to do, is to have like product that is not just like performance and sporty, but really like the gesture of like adding something in the water is, people like the taste, and it's really like a gesture that is an everyday kind of life. So yeah, that's what we do, and that's how I got started.
I love how concise your response was, by the way. You hit every single important part of that first question, and I think this is going to be an awesome interview today. What was your biggest challenge in this process, and how did you overcome it?
So, I mean, like it's every day is a challenge. Like it's you have yeah, as you grow, you've got like different things. Like in the beginning is creating the then like comes like all the regulation around the product, and then comes like the cash flow. So it's you've got different, and you realize, by the way, speaking with different founders, it doesn't matter how big or small, like different industry, you realize that pretty much everybody is facing at some point like similar challenges. So that's why it's just so important, by the way, to kind of exchange with people, because when sometimes you're just so caught up in your own bubble, in your own operation, you're feeling that you're the only one struggling with these challenges, but actually you realize that everybody's facing them. I would say the challenge though, and it's linked to my business, because there's no such thing as balance between personal life um and business when you're I think a founder, especially when you're a mom. Like it's I don't know, like some people maybe manage it better than I do, but like like there's no, for me there's no line between what is really business and what is really family. Like my kids are always like kind of playing with my product, like I when my kids were born, like they were with me in the office, like basically from like, like 5 days old. So there's no such line. So, like the biggest challenge that I faced is like a couple of years ago. I gave birth to a baby girl that sadly passed away at birth. And it's so linked to my of course, like to my personal and family story, but like it's also so linked to my business because when you're a founder, you don't have a strict maternity leave, you don't have like a strict kind of like frame of something like that happened to you, like it's you're writing your own rules every single day. So like there's no, yeah, the team is very small, so it's not like that someone can cover for me, right? So I would say the personally, of course, the biggest challenge that I ever had to face was to handle this very, very tragic situation, very, very sad moments, but also like it was a challenge for the business. Like like to be honest with you, I was like you doubting everything, and you are thinking like, is it really how I want to spend my time? Is it so, like it has a huge impact on where you want to focus, where you want to put your energy. And to be honest with you, it also helped me so much to it was a challenge for the business because of course like I was out of it for a few weeks, but also it really helped me personally to overcome this very sad personal situation because I love my team. I love what I do. We're very passionate about everything we do every single day. And I just love like the daily routine that we've built in the company. And, like the team, like it's when once again, when you're a small company, the link that you have with people, like I mean, my team, we're like that, like we can go through, we've went through like like hell and back, you know what I mean? Like we went through so much on a personal level that like now when we have issues and challenges in the business, like I think we have this with this base where we strong, like we solid, we stand for each other, we here for each other, and we yeah, that is really that is a challenge, that it was a personal challenge that became that was a time where we were fundraising. I mean, like the life of a startups, there's always something to do, and then when you hit by such a tragic event, everything stops, and like what does that mean for the business? So that was definitely the biggest challenge that we had to go through, me personally, but also I think the company. And I'm just so proud that we are still like that we're still standing, me personally, but also like as a company, that we were able to overcome that together.
Wow. Firstly, thank you very much for sharing such a personal story. And I'm obviously so sorry that happened to you, but at the same time, I'm so happy that you were able to overcome that and everything that comes with the growth of that situation. And honestly, just well done for getting where you are, considering all the challenges you've gone through. It's so good to hear that you have such a strong support system with your team. And you've already told me so many wonderful stories about how you guys have come together for fundraising and how you guys are a family. Is there anything specifically when it comes to kind of your company that any kind of story that really left a mark on you or something that really impacted you along this journey?
Yeah, so another very, I think, big event that was kind of like make it or break it or make it moment. I mean, some days you feel like, okay, that is like, am I gonna make it? I feel the break it or make it moment. Sometimes it's where it's really unexpected. It's just comes some days suddenly. But sometimes it's like you kind of like see it coming, and like, it's a massive event. My point is that it's kind of like every day is always like a make it or break it moment. But the biggest one that we had also is that we were supposed to launch in July 2022, and we had 80,000 products. So 80,000 products ready, packed in sachets. In Germany, everything was sorted. We had shot the campaign. We were ready to go. 1 week before the launch, we sent everything to the fulfillment center, and they're like, "Look, we open a box, and all the sachets are crystallized." I was like, "What do you mean?" All the powders, like, so our product is a powder format. I know it's a podcast, I'm sort of showing it on video, but like if you're on YouTube, you'll see it. So it's fruit, so it's made out of real fruits. This one that I'm showing is the electrolyte, so it's the hydration one. We've got as well the gut health. We've got different function coming up, but it's a powder, and that dissolve in the bottle of water that you carry with you, like everywhere. So the powder just like was very hard, like a rock, like in all the sachets. So the fulfillment center say, yeah, we opened like a few boxes, and it seems that the entire production is like that. So like I flew to Germany. We had to do like some kind of like investigation. We were working with a massive factory, one of the biggest factory. We were part of the incubator, startup incubator like branch. They wanted to invest in us, but like we were doing this first deal to see how things were going, and like build a relationship, and that happened. And we had invested like pretty much all the money that we had raised in the launch of that product. So it was months and months of back and forth. To be fair, the factory and this company in general, the commercial office, the product development, everybody was very supportive, and they recognized that at some point the factory had made a mistake in the process of our product, and they refunded it all the money. But it took us months and months. And like I was just sitting down in the office in Germany, and I was like, I'm not gonna leave until like that, like it's different steps in the investigation to recognize, like where the mistake has been made. And yeah, that summer I literally spent my summer in Germany sitting down in the offices to find a solution, which we eventually did a few months after. And like I say, they've been very fair. They knew we were a startup, that we had invested a lot. They recognized that the mistake was made from their side. But like, what does it mean for startups? It means that you have to pivot, you have to change your product, you have to find. So we creating, sorry, the product in-house. So we work with a food scientist, and we created. So I'm a nutritionist, we have a food scientist, and that is how we're formulating our product. Long story short, we launched our first official product literally a little bit more than a year after this event. So now I think we've got a couple of strong manufacturers, and we live and learn. And the great thing is that we're still in a very good relationship with the factory that we were working with. And like we're not excluding working again in the future. It just didn't work out for that particular product, and hopefully they'll be partner in the future. But yeah, definitely, like we've learned a lot. You might tried samples on like 60 kilos of products, but like until you actually do like a full run of minimum of like 600 kilos to 800 kilos, the process of doing, of producing, like for real, the product is different from the sample. So it's very hard to anticipate all of the problem of challenges that you can face at the development phase, because like, and then how we try to be as sustainable as we can be. So like a sachet actually is using only 1% of the plastic and less than 1% of the carbon, compared to any kind of like a single-use plastic bottle. So like these kind of like functional drinks with liquid in it already, like in the supermarket in plastic. So, like we try to find as well compostable sachets. We try to find different type of like packaging that were matching our vision of sustainability. But we realized that the best way to product the product was these current sachets that use a little bit of plastic, but it was like the best in order to avoid to have too much waste, because the compostable sachets, for instance, are not preserving the product very well. So, you might think, oh, that's a good idea. In theory, oh, it's a good idea to have like a compostable sachet, but in practice, you creating more waste because your product doesn't preserve, like properly. So all of that is very difficult to anticipate until the product is in your hands and, like on the shelf. And, like that's why we're continuing to innovate in terms of like branding, in terms of packaging, in terms of like taste, like we always moving, like nothing is written in stone. And I think it's we're listening to the challenges that we have, but also a lot, like to our consumers. Like we do a lot of pop-ups where we actually go. So we do different testing. We did a lot in London. We were part of an incubator in London. We did a lot of pop-up store to actually create the current products that we have based on the feedback of consumers. So yeah, that's where we are, and that's how we overcome, like the challenge, one of our biggest challenges that we faced.
I love the fact that you're thinking sustainably as well. Like obviously you're using, even less than 1% of plastic, and you're thinking about carbon emissions, you're thinking about, just being kind to the environment while actually helping the environment in the actual nature of the product itself and helping humans at the same time. Like it's such a positive and helpful and healthy product that you've made for the environment and for the community. And I love that. And you've kind of touched on this a little bit already with talking about how you listen to your consumers and how you come together as a family in your team. But what is one final kind of word of advice that you have for the listeners today?
So today is actually Women Day. We're recording this episode on Women Day. So I think I want to speak to female founder in particular. What I was saying about balance. I think you feel that many people got that sorted, that they have a right balance, that they are like a fantastic mom and then a great founder, and like they have it all figured out. um I think it's I don't think that's the reality. I think the reality is that we can have it all, but not it all in the same time. I think the balance, there's no balance. Like I think everybody's like just doing whatever they do. And like people are saying, oh, like full-time mom, or like working mom. And like there's no such thing that part-time mom, just like you know uh, so if you're a founder, you might be a founder, or you might be a working mom, but you also a full-time mom. Like it's not that you don't have like the same things to sort out. So I would just say that the reality is just, once again, that there's no balance. And just like do whatever you have to do, and learn to say no to things and focus on what is important to you, to your business, to your family. And so yeah, I will just take this opportunity to apologize to all the dinner that I it's like it's just yeah, you have to say no, because you can't just do it all. And the last thing, it's as a founder, and like female or not female founders, but it's just really, like it just requires so much resilience, and like to always find the energy to go. And competition is coming, and you have different challenges, and like you run out of money, you need to find more money. And like you need to be, I think, very convinced on why you do that. Is it like for money? Is it for fame? Is it for personal development? Is it to change people's diet? Like, I think if you find your why and it's true to who you are deeply, I think then you will find the strength to carry on every single day. But like if it's just like something that seems to be a good idea and something that you're not truly aligned with, I think you'll find the journey very difficult. So yeah, think about that before you embark in the journey. That will be like my 2 cents.
Thank you so much for sharing those really inspiring words of advice, Justine. I think it's really important for people to actually put the heart and soul into what they do, not just for the sake of like don't just chase after the money, but think of the why that you're doing this. I think that's really important. And to manage your own expectations, as you said, like saying no to dinner, saying no to social life here and there, but just remembering that it's for a bigger purpose and it's for your entrepreneurial journey. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me. That was a great one. Thank you.